Wow, what a day. Penises flying at me, poop erupting like a volcano, gallons and gallons of vomit. Ugh. Oh, and I also went to the movies. Seeing Red in the morning with your girlfriend, then seeing Jackass at 10 o'clock at night with a friend? I'm living the American dream! So I'll go in order because that's what us intelligent people do. I was really looking forward to Red because the cast is pretty freaking awesome. Bruce Willis, Helen Mirren, Morgan Freeman, and John Malkovich. Also Brian Cox, the old guy from Marty that I can never remember the name of. You know, what's his name? Like Ernest or Bornest or I don't know, whatever. We got a bunch of Oscar winners in here. So the thing that got me really interested in this movie was that it takes, you know, actors like Helen Mirren and Morgan Freeman and John Malkovich, you know, as, you know, these BAs, these retired CIA agents kicking some epic booty, and we usually don't see these actors kicking epic booty. This is interesting. So I love Bruce Willis as an actor. But first I kind of thought, you know, I kind of wish that there was a different actor in Bruce Willis's role because, you know, we're used to seeing Bruce Willis kick butt. I think he's 50 at least, but he doesn't really appear to be 50, and this movie's supposed to be, you know, retired, extremely dangerous, so they're supposed to be old people. The other actors seem old, and it seems really out of place to see them kicking butt. But not Bruce Willis. You expect Bruce Willis to kick butt. He's in shape. He doesn't look that old. I don't really care. Bruce Willis did really good in this movie. All the actors did really good in this movie. Now, it starts off really odd. You're not really sure what's going on story-wise, and it starts off intriguing, but after a while, you just kind of want to know what's going on, and it gets a little boring, so you really don't really have much of a connection. Now, the pacing isn't very cliche. It isn't really what you would expect, but that's not exactly a good thing because some of the actors that you really want to see in this movie might not be in it as long as you wished. There really isn't much bond time between these big actors together. Ads show this movie off as basically like a team, like they're working together. The movie really isn't like that. There's not much teamwork with them. Basically, Bruce Willis and Mary Lou Carter, or what's this lady's name? The non-lady that I haven't talked about yet. His love interest is basically them two, and John Malkovich is in it a lot too. Other than that, you don't really see much of the other actors a whole lot, and there isn't a great deal of action, but the other frustrating thing about this movie is that when there was action, it was awesome. I mean, awesome. Every hint of action in this movie is really creative, a lot of fun, and just not cliched at all. Really fun action, like refreshingly fun. Really well directed, really well edited, a lot of style. Definitely has a great style to it. It looks awesome. The story kind of kept the movie tied down, which I'm all for sophistication, but there were just a lot of parts of this movie where I kind of just wish it would go nuts again. Like, we got hints of, you know, this epic over-the-top action movie, which is awesome. Yet for 45 minutes, all they've been doing is talking. But, you know, the dialogue's pretty good. There was some pretty poor dialogue. Some of the humor was poorly executed. The story's just okay. It's nothing great. It's kind of basic, what you'd expect. Nothing new to the story, but non-formulaic elements to it, like I said, in the pacing and how they introduce some of the characters. I applaud them for that. It should have had more action in there because the story really wasn't interesting enough to carry the film to the point where that's the only thing that's entertaining you. Like, sure, I want to know what was up, why they're trying to kill them. I wanted to see them succeed and take down the bad guys, but I also want to see them blow stuff up. But good performances, overall good film. Fighting over my rating forever, whether to give it a 6.5 or a 7. The things that are good about it are really, really good, believe it or not. It's not like it's a really flawed film, it just doesn't live up to its potential at all, but it's still a good film. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Now, the show Jackass aired on TV 10 years ago. It was on the air for 2 years. Then in 2002, we got Jackass the movie. And in 2006, we got Jackass number 2. And now 4 years later again, we get Jackass 3D. Now everyone is saying that they're all like 50 years old. I'm hearing all these people say, like, Johnny Knoxville's like 49 years old. Like, how can they do this? They're all like in their mid-40s. They're ancient. They're gonna die. I have all of their ages right here. Johnny Knoxville is 39 years old. Steve-O is 36 years old. M. Margera is 31 years old. Wee Man is 37. Chris Pontius is 36. Preston Lacey is 41. Ryan Dunn is 33. Dave England is 40. Danger Aaron is 33. So except for Preston and Dave, they're all still in their 30s, which is, yes, pretty old to be doing this stuff. They're not old farts like people are making it sound. Yeah, sure, I'll admit it's pretty odd seeing guys that are mid to late 30s having apples getting eaten out of their butts by pigs and hitting golf balls with their penises, drinking cups of butt sweat. But hey, it's kind of sort of fun to watch. The thing I've always found with Jackass is that if they're having fun, we're usually having fun. They just have this contagious sense of immaturity that you just can't help but enjoy yourself. When it comes down to it, when you think about what they're doing, it kind of makes you want to kill yourself. But when you watch it, You still might kind of want to kill yourself, but for some reason you can't look away and you're very ridiculously entertained and you don't want it to end. I've seen all three of these movies and I'm going to be honest, I watched the first two movies recently for the first time. Something came over me and I'm like, you know, I'm finally going to watch this crap. And you don't want these movies to end because they're just a collage of these really short skits of people doing funny stuff. That's it. Like, what more could you want? Obviously, the only thing they need to get these things to succeed is to do something funny / entertaining. In order to do that, Jackass does dangerous things and does funny things. Do they succeed in doing that? Yes, but not completely consistently. And the problem is with this film is that Jackass number 2 was not like an amazing film or anything. It was funny, it was really entertaining. But they did so many ridiculously retarded and dangerous things that you would never expect someone to do. They did it in that movie. They raised the bar, they did. So you expect ridiculous crap, even like more ridiculous in this new one. But I would say this one is a little more tame than number 2. There were a few moments of this movie where I was like, okay, that's it. Might be because they're getting older, it might be because they don't want to die, I don't know. Now I did see this movie in 3D. Really haven't been seeing any movies in 3D lately, because I just don't want it. 3D sucks. But I saw this movie in 3D because they actually shot it with 3D cameras. I admitted I wanted to see what a Jackass movie would be like in 3D. So yes, I paid my extra money and I saw it in 3D. Was it worth it? Sure, I don't know. Sure, it was cool. The movie looks great. It's really crisp, awesome to look at, and the 3D does enhance that. It was really cool in 3D. You're not really missing out on all that much if you see it in 2D, but there were many scenes in this movie where it was made specifically for 3D, but that isn't always a good thing, because the good thing with Jackass is that, you know, it's stripped down raw images of people getting hurt. For the sake of the 3D, there were some scenes in this movie where they slow-moed it very, 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 very slow, and kind of over-stylized it to the point where it didn't seem real. And that's not Jackass. This isn't an action movie, this is Jackass. And they did that just for the sake of the 3D, which it was cool in 3D, but I want to see the realistic images of people getting hurt. Like, Wee Man was like flying, like doing flips, and I thought to myself, that doesn't seem real, that didn't seem realistic. And then at the end of the credits, they show that he was on a bungee cord. I'm like, that was basically just the beginning sequence and the ending sequence. Other than that, yeah, puke and poop comes right at you. Woo! Like I said, I didn't really show any concern about their age. You know, they love doing this stuff. They have a great bond. It's really fun to see these guys hanging out and goofing around with each other. But Dave England is 40 years old, almost 41. He turns 41 in December. He does something in this movie that I'm not gonna, like, give away because they play off the fact that you don't know what's going to happen. So I'm not going to give it away. But it's not funny at all. Dave England is one of the members that I've never really liked very much. He whines a lot. He does a bunch of stupid, unfunny stuff that are just gross. Anyone can do. I can poop my pants. I can poop my pants. Like at the beginning when it says don't perform any of these stunts, am I going to danger myself by pooping my pants? I don't think so. Dave does something in this movie that's just not funny at all. It's coming from a guy that is almost 41. That's just sick to think about. Other guys are doing a bunch of stupid stuff, but this stuff is like dangerous stunts that they want to risk doing for your entertainment. Then we have Dave doing that. Absolutely no ability. So yeah, a lot of the stunts aren't as dangerous as we've seen Jackass do before. You may have laughed more at number 2. If you laughed more at number 1, I don't know. I would probably say that number 2 was a little better. I'm not really sure how I'd rank the series at all. I like all 3 of them. But yeah, this one, I don't know if this one's better than number 1, but I don't think it's as good as number 2. And it seems like everyone agrees. Grandpa skit verged on a little too much for me, which I think it did for a lot of people when I consider the completely silent theater. And I was in a packed theater, and a lot of time I couldn't hear the movie because everyone was screaming. But should you see Jackass 3D? This is something you need to dig deep inside and ask yourself. Do you like that kind of stuff? If yes, you've probably already seen it. If you don't, you've probably already made a deep promise to yourself to avoid it as much as possible. Is it a good movie? No, but it's a good Jackass movie. The epic flaw is that they do kind of tame it down. There were some points where I wanted to see them do something, you know, more impressive, but there is a lot of funny stuff here. 3D is really cool, though, you know, not all the stuff here is gonna in any way take advantage of the 3D. You know, when you see Wee Man getting super glued to Preston's chest, no, 3D doesn't really do anything with that. But yeah, if you like this kind of crap, yes, go see Jackass 3D. Funny and entertaining when it comes to the Jackass style, I guess. I don't know. I'm also going to give it a 7 out of 10. So 7 out of 10 for Red and Jackass 3D. I know, same rating. Boring. I'm sorry. Yeah, both good movies. Check them out. And I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. Actually, I got to edit this crap first. You guys suck.